The Lewis and Clark expedition encountered the Niobrara River on September 4, 1804, on the journey up the Missouri River to explore the West. William Clark noted that the river was throwing out sand from its mouth, and at only 4 feet deep was unnavigable even by canoe. Clark wrote that he had trekked 3 miles upstream from the confluence, noting numerous islands and sandbars that divided the river's channel. The original town of Niobrara was situated about a mile downstream of the Niobrara Missouri River confluence. Built in 1857, Niobrara was one of the many towns built along the Missouri River for its easy access to steamboat traffic. River towns and steamboat traffic held a mutual relationship during this time. The towns provided provisions for travelers, and the steamboat passengers helped sustain the economies of many riverboat towns. 24 years after Niobrara was established, the town experienced its first major flood. Around midnight on March 28th of 1881, alarms rang, warning the town of the impending flood. An ice dam had formed upstream and had broken during the night, releasing a flood of water and boulders of ice rushing towards the town of Niobrara, and flooding the town in 3 to 6 feet of water within half an hour. Niobrara's nearly 850 residents decided to relocate their town about a mile and a half to the southwest onto higher ground. By April 22nd of 1881, homes and buildings were beginning to relocate to the new town site, and the move was complete by January of 1882. The town of Niobrara was once again threatened by rising water in the years following construction of Gavin's Point Dam. Lewis and Clark Lake, which was formed with closure of the dam in 1955 and begins just a few miles downstream of Niobrara, created further groundwater problems by slowing the river's current and trapping incoming sediment. The buildup of sediment and rising waters from Lewis and Clark Lake caused groundwater levels to rise in and around the town of Niobrara. Rising groundwater levels rose at a rate of about 6 inches per year, and by 1972 the water table was located just 5 feet below the ground, leaving most basements flooded. The town chose to relocate a second time, roughly a half mile to the southwest onto higher ground. The move was complete, and the new town of Niobrara was dedicated on July 4, 1977. The effects of sedimentation at the Niobrara Missouri River confluence go beyond the relocation of the town of Niobrara. Historically, the free-flowing Missouri River was able to carry large amounts of sediment. Closure of Gavin's Point Dam in 1955 and the formation of Lewis and Clark Lake has drastically slowed the river's current and reduced the river's ability to carry sediment downstream. Roughly 30% of the lake has been lost to sediment accumulation and is estimated to be 50% full by the year 2045. The effects of this steadily growing delta are many. Increasing groundwater levels have resulted in more frequent flooding and has made access difficult to some recreation areas. In the future, accumulating sediment may lead to water quality and supply problems for municipal water intakes. The delta has varying effects on fish and wildlife. While the delta creates a useful habitat for many species, sediment trapped in the delta is not available for habitat creation downstream. Less sediment downstream of Gavin's Point Dam has resulted in decreasing wetland and backwater habitat as the Missouri River continues to cut deeper into its main channel. Several solutions to the sediment problem have been proposed, including dredging and piping sediment past Gavin's Point Dam, flushing sediment downstream with high flows on the Missouri River, and implementing land management practices to reduce erosion and incoming sediment. At this time, sediment reduction actions have been taken in several areas that may help to reduce the incoming sediment load.